Hello. My glasses and my strange hair today. Hello. I made it on a Wednesday. I'm not poorly. I'm okay. I thought that we would carry on with some more of the back work that we were doing, but kind of combine it with back work from twisting. So apply into the trauma reflex. I mean, they all play into each other. We just make it of a focus sometimes, but this time it is going to be some back work. Just trying to think how I would describe it. It's still based on back work, but we're going to be doing some rolling over, and we're going to be doing so a little bit more of a focus on back lifts with twists. Anyway, in a minute I'll show you what that's all about. Let me just put that comments back. There we go. So I'm just going to wait and see if people come in. Otherwise, because I haven't promoted this very well today, so I'm going to just talk a little bit, rabble away, see if people come in, and then I'll show you the moves. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then you could just whiz forward a bit. If you're watching it live, then you just have to wait and see what happens. If you're watching it on Facebook, you could move forward a little bit. If this is your first time coming across this and doing a class, then I just usually spend about 10 minutes talking about the moves and then I go on to the class. But I'd suggest, if you've never done somatic movement before, that you have a look at my 7-day challenge or some of the videos in the Facebook or on YouTube that are already posted there, so you get an idea of what's going on. In the 7-day challenge, you get a video daily, and that tells you how to do each move. So you get a build up of 7 moves that you could combine together, which would make a kind of full, almost hour class. At the end of the 7-day challenge, there's 15 minutes of me just hearing my voice. You don't need to look at me because you'll have the moves by then. You can just lie down on the floor and do them. You could just watch this today. So let me just check on the time. I'll just wait and see if anybody comes in. Sit here patiently, having a little sway. If you did the class yesterday, and you want to do it on YouTube, it was the back class, and we squeezed bottoms and we did the backs of our legs, and we did a new move which involved lengthening the leg while the leg was in the air, and we did some different arm moves. And we're going to do that same arm movement again today, so I'm just going to demonstrate what it is. So this is the one where we have our arms kind of like if we were putting our hands on our hips, but fingertips just pointing in, and then when we're arch and curling, let me move over a bit. We lift one arm at a time as we're arching, so we're kind of doing this backward rotation, this rotator cuff movement, which is good if you've got a rotator cuff issue, because you're on the floor, so you're quite secure. And then we did so we're going to go back to doing that, and we're going to do a lower back one. So a couple of things from yesterday: bottom squeezes we're going to do again for our backs, back of the body, and then we're going to combine some twisting and some reaching, and I'm going to show you the rolling over. In fact, stop talking, I'm going to show you. Right, so arch and curl. We have our little body scan, and then we'll do our arch and curl. In our arch and curl, I'm just going to show you my hands are flat in a neutral position. My feet are hip width apart. And then an arch and curl involves tilting the pelvis forward on the in-breath, pressing the shoulders back into the floor, so you've got a nice arch in your back. The muscles at the front are lengthened, the back muscles are shortened, and then you come back to neutral very slowly, and then your pelvis tilts up and your shoulders go in, and you're in this curl position, which is with an out breath. So that's what we're going to be doing as ever. Always do this at the start. Then we're going to combine that with an arch and curl, pushing the one knee forward. So if I push the knee forward without my hand, I would be arching and sending the knee forward, pushing into my foot, but trying to keep the arch going forward rather than tilting up over to one side, which your foot pushing in the floor would normally make happen, but you still want to go against that arch as you're sending the knee forward. So we're going to do that one on both sides. Then we're going to do our arm movement, where we have our fingers pointing to our hips and our arms out at kind of 45-degree angles. the 90-degree bend here. And then what we do is we arch, and as we arch and curl, as we arch, we send one shoulder back. So we'll be doing one at a time. So that's what we're going to be doing on this side. Hello to whoever's come in and watching. So we're going to be going one arm going back as we arch. So this we tried these out yesterday, so we're just going to have to give it another go because it'd be good to play into those back muscles again. Then we're going to do some arm spirals, because what this does is it plays into the shoulder blades. So we're going to twist and feel our shoulder blades. That's going to be kind of our main area of focus, but it also goes up and down in the arms when we start twisting into here. And so we're going to do that one, and then we're going to reach our arms up like this, up and down, very slowly retracting, contracting and retracting. And then we're going to start reaching. So we're going to start looking at our waist and bringing our waist into the hole, releasing of the upper back. So we would squeeze in and then come down, reach across. And we're going to start making that as far as you want it to be. And then eventually we're going to start pushing into the foot and send it even further, releasing the back muscles. Okay, so that's going to be our back. I'll work on the side, on the waist. Then we're going to turn over and we are going to do our side back lifts. So we're going to do looking to the side and our back lift with a twist, which you can do with your hand on the floor. Just lift up, use the hand to push you back and give you a bit of help, not too much pushing in the hand. Just have it there as a guide, looking over your shoulder, and then we bring the leg in. So we look and we squeeze the leg. If you can't squeeze the leg up, then you just squeeze the bottom muscles at the same time. So squeeze the bottom muscles. So you're getting that diagonal from shoulder to bottom, across the back. And then we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to do our going over. So this is like a little bit of play. I'll just take my glasses off while I do this. So we have our arm by our side. We have our hand by our side. So my hand's near my face, but I've bent my elbow. You might move your hand around, it might not be quite comfortable. And then what we do is we bend the arm on the leg on the same side as the arm that's bent. And then we start taking that foot gently across. So we're getting a nice twist through the back. Hopefully your back will have been loosened up from the earlier twisting. So we're just playing around with this. My knees are kind of stuck together. Then we start picking the foot up and taking it over and rolling. So you move your arm out of the way. So you play into that. So you're actively involving your bottom muscles, your lower back muscles. And then eventually we start looking over the shoulder. And the aim is to get the foot down to the other side. In fact, sorry, we have the arm up here. Otherwise it's in the way. I'm just combining two moves. So we then push over gently, come back. So we're just playing around with how much control we've got in the back muscles, how we can relax them so they're all switched on at the moment, then we come right over. So we're going to be doing this move. We come back, push into the foot, bring ourselves over and control the release of the back muscles back down. Okay, if you can't have your arm up like this left arm, then you would have it by your side, but you obviously wouldn't go right over. You would just play into the twist, looking over as far as you can go into that shoulder. It'll open the chest up as well. Okay, so you would just play with that, or you would just do it to a very small degree. If you've got shoulder problems or other things going on, use your hand to guide you. It's just about this kind of lower back twist in the first process, and then if you can get involved with the upper body and the twist and the engaging in the back of the shoulders, then do. So we're going to play around with that. I know you like this one, Fiona. I've seen you rolling over in class. So that's what we're going to do. So that's our combination tonight. If we've got time, we might do the wash rags. We haven't done it for a while, but if not, then we won't. And we'll just finish on that one. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So I was saying, Fiona, I don't know if you saw the start, we're going to do the ones we did yesterday with the hand lifting, lower back, arch and curl, where we do each side with the knee, and then we're going to do twisting into the arms and then reaching across the body, pushing up. So you've done all these. The only difference was this arm one that we did yesterday. So, hiya Fiona. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and we're going to start with our body scan. So if you're joining in, Fiona, you might be the only one here to start with, but maybe other people are joining. I haven't promoted Wednesday, and I've been off sick, haven't I, for the last couple of Wednesdays, so it might just be me and you, but that's all right. So let's have a little lie down. Let's do our scan. Let's just let go. I've been editing today, editing my book, so I'm ready for a little after all that concentrating. A little bit of focus on my body rather than my brain now, which seems to have stopped working. Soften into the ground. Scan up from your feet, under your feet, up your heels, along your back. Take it in everything as you go along. Taking each joint. Noticing depths, softness, tightness, any sensations, tingling, buzzing, hurting. Have a good look around the waist, because we're going to be looking at the lower back and the diagonals a bit today. More of a focus. It was more kind of up and down yesterday. Just vertical, but we're going diagonal and not so much horizontal, but diagonal and vertical today. Have a good look around your neck. Mine's hurting a bit from all that leaning over a computer. I can feel it in my upper back, so this is good. Suits me today. Selfishly. And then letting go. When you've had a good scan of the back, then have a quick scan of the front. Have a little diagonal look, hip to shoulder. When you've had a good look, you've got an idea of how your body's feeling, tightness, not being very soft, feeling sort of your clothes on you. Sometimes by the end of the class I can't feel my clothes anymore, everything's disappeared. It's amazing. Not, you know what I mean. And then bringing the feet up, placing them on the floor, hip width apart, line them up, make sure that they're lined up. Even if that makes you feel wonky through your hips or the rest of your body. Adjust yourself so you're comfortable, and then we're going to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, slow it all down. Watching where your breath goes. Which parts of your body are affected by your breath, and then focusing on your back again like we did yesterday. So have a little focus of where your breath goes up into your neck and shoulders, if it does or doesn't. What expands up in that part, and then travel down your back, looking at what's moving. Seeing if you can breathe a little bit more fully into the upper torso, where it connects into the arms, out into the ribs. Hopefully your front's going to move as well, so have a little check-in. See how your breath presses into the floor. Look into your lower back, your waist. Till eventually when you get down into the pelvis, and you can feel your pelvis pressing on the floor, start thinking about a gentle arch. So like I said in the first part of this, your pelvis is tilting forward. More of your bottom will go towards the floor. Your lower back will lift off the floor, even in a tiny way. And then you release and come down again with the breath. So breathing in, pelvis arches into the lower back or out of the lower back, depending on how you look at it. And then back down to the floor. So I did this yesterday. My back's very ready to go. Shoulders want to join in, everything's very active. All the messages are getting there, so it's great. Might take a while for you to get into it if you haven't done this for a while or you're just starting. Press the shoulders back when you feel ready to. Keeping everything small to start with. All you're looking for is that you can do this smoothly with no pain. If that means your pelvis only moves 1 centimetre, then so be it. It might move 1 centimetre for the next 5 minutes. As long as that's what you're doing in a controlled way with no pain. Trying to keep it about the back muscles contracting, letting go through the abdomen, breathing in. Arching the shoulders back, letting the breath out, coming back to neutral. Arms by your side or a little bit further away. You could bend the elbow a little bit. Palms might be down, possibly they're up, might not be so comfortable. Just in your own time. Bringing the shoulders in, all that happens is the shoulders, back of the shoulders press down into the floor, chest muscles let go a little bit. Come back to neutral without anything dropping back. Or ricocheting back. They can't really drop up into the air, can they? Maybe dropping forward into the chest muscles. I'm going to do a few more rounds of this. We're not going into a curl. So all we're going to do is start thinking about our right leg. And then as you begin to arch, just start sending the knee forward. As you arch, press into the foot, keep the pelvis going forward. And then just feel that something happens a little bit more. So it might be tightness, it might be just a sensation. You might feel the movement, you might visualize it in the lower back on the right. Keep the shoulders involved if you want to, take them out, it's up to you. We're just having a focus on our right side. Arching, breathing in, send the right knee forward a little bit, push into the right foot, keep arching forward, don't let that pelvis come up into the air. That's very subtle. If it hurts you, then you're doing it too far into with the knee going forward or pushing too hard into the foot. Very small, very controlled. Just feeling like that. The muscles in the back have to work a little bit harder on the right to squeeze against that movement. Just tightens on that a little bit more. Bring the knee back, come back to neutral. Breathe in as you send that knee forward. It'll help the knee go forward. You breathe right down into your belly. I'm going to do 2 more on this right side. When you've done that, just go back to arching gently through the whole back without sending the knee forward, without any tension through the right leg. Just notice how it feels. It might feel that you've got a slightly looser pelvis on the right. If it was your trauma side, then you might not feel much difference. Just might be a little bit more in line with the other side. Maybe revolve the shoulders again if you hadn't, and then we'll start thinking about going over to the left side. Same as the right. From now on, every time you arch, send that left knee forward, push into the left foot. Some of you might need to bring the foot nearer to your bottom. Some of you might need to take it further away. Both of them. What I mean is slide them further down the mat if you need to, if you can't feel anything or you're not getting any sensation from this. Some of you might need to move your feet near the bottom to feel anything or get any pressure through the pelvis. It might be that you can't control your right shoulder as well. You might have to just do the left shoulder. Whatever way you do it will be right for your body. Use the breath. If you're watching this, you've probably not really seen me do much of anything other than just my stomach lifting off the floor a little bit, rising up. possibly. Know that I'm just arching gently, sending my left knee forward, pushing into my left foot a little bit, controlling it, sending the pelvis forward, going back to neutral. I'm going to make this my last one, and then I'm going to go back to the centre and just carry on arching my back to see what it feels like now. And then when I've had a few turns, just arching the back, which is nice and smooth now. It's a much bigger arch than when I started. The shoulders are a bit happier. Then I'm going to curl in the opposite direction. So all that involves is tilting the pelvis on the out breath towards the belly button. So if you had a bowl of water, it would tilt towards your, spill towards your neck, along the body. If it was sitting on your pelvis, a bowl of water on your head. So now I'm just arch and curling. So my shoulders are coming forward. As I breathe out, my pelvis is tilting off the floor, bottom's off the floor, my lower back's into the floor. And then I release that back to neutral, breathing in, and then arch in the opposite direction. My arms want to join in a little bit because my shoulders are and chest muscles are releasing gently. That's okay, you can roll them in a little bit if you want to, roll them out again. So we're just gently arch and curling. So we're going to do 3 or 4 more of these. Itchy nose. Itchy. Be mindful of your neck. My neck's just made me aware of it by softening, so I'm just going to focus on that for the last couple. Soften the jaw. And when I've done my last couple, I'm going to let go gently, bring the legs down, soften everything, let go. A couple of breaths, doing nothing. Hopefully you've got a nice slow breath. Then I'm going to bring my knees back up, hip width apart with the feet, parallel to each other. Bend the elbows, palms facing down. Point your fingertips towards your hips, so they're going to just sit above the waist, elbows out to about 45 degrees from the body. So you've got a 90-degree angle in your elbows, hopefully. I'm just going to have a look at mine. If you need to lift your head up, do it gently, don't just flick it up. And then we're going to arch and curl in this position. Couple of arch and curls, and as we arch from now on, we're going to lift the right hand off the floor, rotate it back from the elbow. So we're arching as high as you can without any pain, and feel that shoulder blade rotate. So it's going to go down your back just a little bit, possibly a lot. A little bit in the first instant, and then we go back to our normal curl. So as you arch, lift the right hand up, forearm up, keep the upper arm on the floor. Mine's rotating back a lot further than it did yesterday. So you might fully open the chest muscles. You're just watching that squeeze down the back in the shoulder blade. You can actively take it down. You take the shoulder blade down, let it do the action for you. If everything's all right in your back and the arch is big enough. The hand on the opposite side might go back if you're doing both shoulders are going back as well. Just look at the difference though on that right shoulder blade to the left. We're not picking that forearm up. It might just lift off anyway because the shoulder's going back. Pelvis is just going forward and back as usual. It's just that right shoulder we're getting from squeezing into the upper back. Place the hand down gently. Don't push into the floor. We're not working too tightly into the chest muscles. Being mindful of your neck, it's not too strong. I'm going to do 2 more this right side. And then we're going to rest that arm down. We're not going to lift it up the next couple of rounds. See how that shoulder feels. And then we'll move to the left. So from now on, every time you arch, you're going to take that left arm off the floor, lower arm from the elbow, upper arm stays on the floor, rotate it back. Comes back as you curl. As you arch, take that arm back. Feel the difference to the other side. Still doing both shoulder movements, it's just still arching in both shoulders, still coming forward in a curl in both shoulders, just that added angle through the arm is engaging the shoulder blade down the back or into the back, however much you feel it. And you could actively involve the shoulder blade from now on if you want to, slide it back under, down. Be mindful of how it releases as you bring the shoulders forward. Watch your neck, if it's getting deeper and longer, and then your neck will be more involved, so make sure you're having an eye on that as well. Pelvis might be just happily moving. It's got those lovely signals from all the other somatics you've been doing. If you're new to this, then you might just be doing this in a very small way, watching what's going on. With your eyes closed. Last one on my left. Going back to the centre, leaving the forearms down. You might lift off a little bit because your movement might be bigger in the shoulders now as you arch. So it might be your forearms come off, just automatically come off the floor with the movement of the arms. Just let the fingers dangle, the wrists dangle, keep the wrists loose. Keep breathing down into the abdomen, and then we're going to do 2 more. The biggest you can do. Doesn't mean you change anything or force anything, it's just the length level that you've got to now. And then we're going to let go, lengthen the legs down, bring the arms back to wherever they're comfortable, and let go. So we're going to come to that position again. Bring the arms above the chest, parallel, palms facing in. Let the shoulders come back down to the floor. The arms sort of sockets come back down to the floor. So you're not reaching up into the air rigidly, they're sunk down. And then we're just going to spiral from the chest muscles and the shoulder blade muscles. We're just rotating around the joint very gently. You may not translate that right up into the, fully up into the wrists yet. So just squeezing in the shoulders, in the chest. If you've got shoulder issues, you're going to do this in a very small way. Hardly turning. Keep making sure that you've softened back down into the ground so you're not reaching up at the same time. And when this becomes a little bit more controllable, you'll have your awareness of the pain levels, which shouldn't be any, and how much you've got control at the shoulders. You can start translating this up to the elbows and then up to the wrists, and it can become a whole arm movement that joins in with this. So I'm a bit tight for my right forearm today. I've been writing, so that's probably why. The old pen and paper method. Not typing. So I'm just going to have that awareness of that right arm, how much it wants to stretch rather than just release gently. So I'm going to keep it a smaller movement than in the left side. You might see if you were watching this that it's a bit more bent at the elbow than the other side, though it's my left elbow that I've got tennis elbow. So you can see how much doing these repetitive actions have an effect day to day, from one day to the next. Wasn't like that yesterday. So it's beginning to loosen up, so I can make that movement a bit bigger to match the other side a little bit more. So just have that awareness. Look at different parts, look at the hands. You could start bringing the wrists in, bending the hands back and forward at the wrists. Open them as you rotate the shoulder blades down the back. As they come up to the side, bend the wrist forward. So the back of my left hand is saying it's like it, so I won't do as much on that side, just bending it forward. And bring your arms down at any point you need to. So I'm going to do a couple more like this, and then we're going to slowly bring the arms down. Bring the elbows down gently and then lengthen the arms down. Bring the legs down, let go. So already my hands are rotating open. I'm a bit happier to be in that position than they were earlier. So when you've had your couple of breaths, bring the legs back up. Check that they're hip width apart. We're going to reach those arms back up again, and then we're going to reach across the body diagonally. So we're just going to gently start doing a reach up into the air with a little bit of across the body movement, very small. Just check out how your shoulder blades feel to release. Sink back to where you started. Turn the head. If you turn the head for the chin to stay in line with the breastbone, then there's more room for manoeuvre, not fighting with the neck muscles. So we're just taking our shoulder blades off the floor as we reach diagonally across the body, and we're hoping eventually that will become a bigger movement. When you've looked into how your shoulder blades feel doing this, then you might start looking lower down on the side of the body, down to the waist, the lower back, and making that your mind's eye focus, the waist letting go, softening. So the back muscles on that side can lengthen. And if you want to, you can push down into the foot a little bit more on the reaching side. So I'm reaching my left arm, so I press down into my left foot and feel how that affects the back and the waist movement. Remember, you can bring your arms down at any point. If you want to let the elbow, the arm on the opposite side drop down a little bit to get out of the way, then you can with your reach. So the back of the upper arm goes down on the floor, maybe to the elbow even. I'm pushing down into my foot, and it's giving me the ability to spiral a little bit more diagonally. And then eventually, if you feel that that's okay, you can start pushing down into the foot, lift the bottom, and then really reaching across, coming back. I want you to control those back muscles coming back down to the floor. So we're getting some nice tightening in the back of the leg, and then we're lengthening the back of the bottom back down. Make sure you've sunk back to where you started before you go again. Reaching across the body to the other side of the room. Resting the arms back down, shoulders back down. And Just keep it all nice and soft. Soft in the pelvis. If that lower leg starts to drop down, the knee drops out to the side. It's not the end of the world. Just be thinking soft back every time you come back to the middle. Soft, released, letting go. If you've got frozen shoulder, you're doing this in the tiniest way possible on that side. I'm going to do one more on each side. My ponytail that's getting in the way. And then I'm going to gently let go, bring everything down, soften it to the floor. So we're going to come over onto our fronts. So keep your head down as much as you can, bring your knees up, roll over gently. I might lift my head up to look at the screen a bit, you don't have to. And just keep the neck long. Because I need to talk to the screen, otherwise you won't hear me. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to bring our left arm by our side. We're going to put the fingertips of our right hand under our left cheek, so you look to the right elbow. If you can't do that, keep your fingertips onto your forehead. If you can't do that, you could have your hand by your side and your forehead on the floor, or you could just look to that side. Depends how your neck muscles are. And then we're going to very gently lift that right side up. Everything else is staying soft. If you need to keep your hand on the floor, keep your hand on the floor, look over your shoulder. Come down slowly. So rest into the floor before you go again, maybe a round of breaths, definitely a round of breaths. Breathe in as you come up. Look over your shoulder, come down gently. We're getting a twist into the back, we're engaging the back muscles. Shoulder blades coming down the back. You could use the shoulder blade to lift you up. Come down very slowly, 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 slowly. Let go of those back muscles, soften everything into the floor. Make sure your bottom muscles will let go. And then when you're ready, go again. So you don't go up and down immediately. You're going to make sure everything's soft before you go. If you need to look at the floor with your head or leave your hand on the floor, just lift your elbow, you can do that. You just want to feel that you're doing a kind of diagonal shoulder movement, and if it just means that you lift your elbow, that's okay. You're still getting a little bit of a twist into the back muscles. Breathe out as you come down. Soften everything before you go again. Everything needs to be soft and gentle. Everything can move. Doesn't have to be held rigidly. I'm going to do one more on this right side. When you're done softening the floor, move your hands wherever you want them to be for comfort. Turn your neck in the opposite direction if it needs to, or look down to the floor. Have a little wiggle with your neck if you need to, and then let go through the chest muscles. So we're going to repeat that movement when we had our breaths, and we're going to lift the left leg at the same time. So make sure you squeeze the bottom muscles when you lift the left leg. Squeeze them first. If you can't lift the leg at the same time, then just squeeze the bottom muscles and let them go gently. So we lift up, breathing in, into that right elbow, squeeze the bottom muscles, lift the left leg. Make sure there's no pinching going on anywhere, pain, squeezing, anything dropping down, the back muscles letting go too quickly. When you come down, you're breathing out and you're letting go of everything again. Check your chest muscles are off, check your bottom muscles are off, your foot's falling out. We're going to do 3 more in your own time. Make sure the back of your leg is released, your calf soft. I'm going to do 1 more. Let go, come to any position that's comfortable for you, preferably without lifting your head up again. And then we'll bring our right arm down by our side, turn our head to the left fingertips under your cheek with the palm down. If you can't do that, have it near to your head and your cheek on the floor, or your forehead on the floor, or your fingertips under your forehead. Any combination of those. And then breathe in as you lift that upper left side, like that balloon's floating you up on the left side of the chest and the elbow. Twist as much as you can into the lower back, coming down gently. Be mindful of the front of the body all the time as well, that it's okay, it's not hurting to lift into that. Coming down slowly. I'm in my second one, slow, slow, slow. And you get nice strong back muscles out of this as well, if you do it carefully. Strong and long. With a good muscle memory for letting go when you need them. And my third one's just finishing, making sure I've softened everything, let go. I'm going to do 1 more. Those people that are doing 8 or 9 or 10 of these are doing too many. You're doing it too quickly. Do it with the breath, that lovely slow down out breath. Round a breath on the floor. Just done my last one, so I'm just going to get into a position where I'm comfortable. I've got 4 more of these with the leg involvement. So right arm by your side, looking to the left if you can, looking down if you can't. Squeeze the right bottom, lift the right leg, or just squeeze the bottom and then let it go as it's coming down, as your shoulder's coming down. Breathe in, lift the leg if you can, twist into it. You might find you can go further than you think without it feeling like a stretch or on the front of the body or painful. Control it all back, don't let the bottom jackknife the hips when you let go. Make sure the chest muscles have let go, the bottom muscles. Breathe in and breathe out. Might do a couple of times before you go up again. It's very strong this, the way we're doing it so slowly. I'm on my third one. Find where you're holding any tension from that, where your body was stabilising you, and let it go. I'm on my last one. And your last one, let go. Lengthen your neck, forehead on the floor if you can, have a little lengthening. Couple of breaths doing nothing. And then, if you can, still on your front, we're going to have a little play with this. We're going to put our arm out in front of us, our left arm, reach it up above your head, turn your head to the right, rest that down, leave bent at the elbow so you're not reaching up into the air, so you haven't got too much pressure through the chest. Soften everything on that left arm. Look to your right arm, put your hand on the floor flat down near your face somewhere with a bent elbow, so you could lift your elbow up and down if you wanted to. Could be anywhere, could be 30 centimetres away from you, could be 10 centimetres away from you. You can play around with that position of that right hand eventually. Lift your right foot so you've got it bent to 90 degrees and it's close up to your other knee, so knees are next to each other. And then gently take that right foot over the left leg. So you're going to find that you roll on that knee, on that thigh. That's all you're doing for now. We're just letting go in the lower back. Letting that right leg tilt our pelvis over a little bit. So your front of your right pelvis is just lifting up. Then we're going to start looking over our right shoulder. So you might have to push into your hand to do that. Then we're coming back down again. Breathing in as you do this. Looking over your right shoulder, pushing into your hand and letting that shoulder go back. So you're trying to lengthen your hand at the same time. Coming back down to earth, letting everything go. Keep everything loose and soft. Start looking over your shoulder as you push down. I'm going to bring my hand a bit closer to my face because I want to go a bit further. Start rolling your head onto your left arm and then taking your foot over. See if you can touch it down on the other side of you. Coming back slowly, use your hand, use your back muscles, let everything go before you go again. So I'm looking over my shoulder, pushing down into my hand, lengthening my arm, picking my knee up, taking my right foot over. So it's just like I'm trying to roll over. And then I'm coming back again. So I haven't fully gone over. Controlling that knee back down. Letting go of the back of the legs, bottom as I come back down, letting the elbows settle down. You don't have to fix your hand on the floor. It doesn't have to have a fixed position. It can move around. Feel the back muscles engage as you go back. If you want to go right over, go right over. Just let your foot control your back. Soften into the floor before you come back again. Push with your foot to send you back. Bring the shoulder forward. Come back down. Come over, let your hand guide you back down. Rest everything down again. Breathe in when you go again. This is the timing that I'm doing. It's really up to you how you do it. You may only lift your back a little bit off the floor and then come back down again. May not go over at all. If you've got your left arm by your side, it may be that you just push into the hand, let your foot drop over, maybe pick the hip up. It might be too much for your shoulder, and then come back down again. Your hand taking the weight through the body. Let's have a little play with this. Maybe watch the video back at the end. Whiz through, see what I'm doing. I can't roll. That left shoulder of mine is okay, so I could roll over with my arm there. I don't really want to. It's a little bit too much. That's why we position our left arm above our head. So we can rest our head onto that arm, roll over. You won't be able to do that if you've got a shoulder issue because it'd be too painful. So regardless of whether it's a shoulder rotator cuff issue or a frozen shoulder, I wouldn't do it with the arm above the head. But you will be able to do it to some degree with it by your side, even if it's just a twist and a push up. Control everything back to the floor in each direction. Feel which muscles you're using, which muscles are lengthening. Keep it nice and soft. You don't have to stick anything to anything. You could send the knee over first so it opens up the front of the pelvis and the groin. You could let your arm come right down as the floor. You could open your knee if you want on that right side. Look to the right. It's a great one to have a little play around with. See which things move, which don't. Change the angles up a bit. So that was my last one. So I'm going to rest everything down. Let go. Sink into the floor. Feel what my right side feels like. 2 lovely long breaths. And then I'm going to switch my attention to the other side. So my right arm's above my head. Now I have to be careful because my right arm shoulder sometimes is a little bit unhappy in this position. So I can feel it shaking a little bit. So I relax it at the elbow a bit. Make sure it's softened under my shoulder blade and around my rib cage enough to do this. So investigating, bring the knee up, put them close together, take the foot over first, just let the pelvis tilt, let the lower back muscles get the idea that they're going to be doing something, they're moving, they're softening around the waist and the pelvis. And then when you feel ready, start looking over your shoulder, lifting the shoulder up as the foot goes over, and eventually pushing into the floor. Eventually putting your head onto your arm, taking the foot over, lifting the hip up, pushing with the hand to take you over. That might come very slowly, you might not feel safe in the first few times to do it. It might take a few sessions before you feel comfortable going over. You may never be able to go over comfortably. You might just switch on too many muscles that aren't happy. Feel the engagement of the back muscles as you go past that, over that midline. Keep everything soft, let go of everything softly and in its own time. Push up to go back, feel my bottom muscles, back of my legs engage. Don't just roll mindlessly back and forward. Watch what's letting go. Watch what's softening. Do things in the lower part first, the upper part first. Breathe in as you go either way. So I'm going to do one more. I'm going to soften everything down, I'm going to let go. When you've had your couple of rounds of breath on your front, excuse me flashing so much flesh if you're watching this. Come over gently onto your backs. Try and keep your neck long, down as much as you can. Lengthen your legs down, let go. And then scanning. Start your feet, scan up the back of the legs, round each joint. Look at depths, feel sensations, feel the pressure on the floor. Notice if anything's changed, shifted, got easier or tighter. Some of the back lifts are quite strong, so you might feel that. Scan all the way up. Check out your neck muscles. Come over the top of your head. Make sure you've had a look at your arms. And then scan down the front of your body. Let your body sink into the floor. Remember, if you tell your muscles to soften, my class people have heard this many times, but if you're new to this, telling your muscles to soften rather than relax in your head is the way that they will soften and let go of any tension. So breathe in, you can tell them, soft calves. I say it a few times, you'll see how they suddenly start disappearing, feeling like you've lost sight of them. You can do that to any area of your body. I've got rid of headaches, period pain, lower back pain, all sorts of things by doing this method. Breathing in, saying soft in your head, and directing it to whichever part of your body you want to. So I might say soft forearms, soft arms, soft as you breathe in, and the body part, organ in the body you want to let the muscles know you want them to soften. The brain's much more up for hearing the word soft than relax. Like's an adjective over a verb. When you've had your scan, you've told things to soften, then you can stay there with your lovely softened body, with your retrained lengthened muscles, just enjoying the feeling, enjoying that slowed down nervous system, feeling stress-free, feeling calm. Who wants to rush back to whatever you're stressing about at home? If you're not going to stay there, then start thinking about moving gently, fingers, toes. Having some awareness of the room, the noises outside, bringing your knees up, rolling onto your side gently when you feel like you're able to, having a little rest there. Maybe opening your eyes and then thinking about coming to sitting, pushing up through your arms. I'm going to slide over to my phone, put my glasses on, have a look at you all. Oh, I wish I could see you all. So, I'm just going to move those out of the way. So if you're watching this for the first time, then go back and do it. Have a go. If you're just getting up, say hello. Or don't say hello. Or carry on lying there for as long as you want to. I'll be back again tomorrow with another class, and then Friday, and then things will be changing next week. But I'm going to put some things on here and send out emails to people. So if you want to think about that and think about joining in next week, then you need to look out on here. All right, this will be put to YouTube. So if you want to share it with anybody who hasn't got Facebook, then do, and check back through the Facebook posts to have a look for any information about more about somatic movement and other stuff. And stay safe. Yeah, stay safe. Hello, Fiona. Yay, Fiona, you stayed in there. Take care, Fiona, and anybody else that's watching. Lots of love, and remember, you can send me questions by email or questions in here on Facebook. I think you can do it on YouTube as well, can't you? In the comments box if you're subscribing. So lots of love. Take care. Bye.